Hello, I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program, and this is Mature Living. I know you don't recognize us right now because we're all working from home, and we're trying to bring you the show because it is so important that we reach our seniors wherever they are. And with this pandemic, with this COVID-19, more and more our seniors are sitting at home, possibly watching TV, and we certainly hope you're wanting to see our Mature Living show. We're going to bring you some great information. I have a good guest for you this morning just to get it going. And so we have Yvette Lugo. She is the director of the Area Agency on Aging, and she has a lot of good information for us today about services that are available for your relatives, for your neighbors, for anybody that you know that's elderly. Yvette, thank you for joining us here. I see you're at your office.
Yes, we're working from the office. I'm not disciplined to work from home, but that's a whole other story.
That's right. Well, some of us have doggies and some of us have family members, and so we're all learning, and it's a very unusual way to work. Believe me, it's taken me a little while to get used to it. And of course, our job is very important. As far as our senior adult program, we're a resource, and through the Mature Living show, we can share with our seniors how they can access services. Tell me about Area Agency on Aging and your mission.
Right. Well, Area Agency on Aging, some people know us as AAA. That can be confusing for some. American Automobile Association, no, the Area Agency on Aging. So we're obviously here to serve older adults and family members who are caring for their aging loved ones. And so we're trying our best, just like everyone else is, to continue to serve and be available. Of course, our mission is to help avoid premature institutionalization and just to support and serve those older adults and help them maintain themselves independent and in the community for as long as possible. And so some of the funding we get is out of the Older Americans Act, which again is a whole act that was established to support the needs of older adults. And as we age, if we need or are reliant upon services in order to stay in our homes, then that's a part of what we do funding wise to help then purchase those services that might be needed. We also provide direct services. So we have staff members. There are 17 of us here at the Area Agency on Aging. Everything from basic information and referral, case management, benefits counseling, caregiver education and training, and then of course our nursing home ombudsman services that are there to help then if we feel like our loved ones perhaps need a little bit of advocacy as they reside in our long-term care facilities.
And how are you reaching, and how are you, I know that appointments are out these days. So do you do it virtually? Do you do it by phone? How are you managing that?
Everything we're doing by now is phone. Our offices are not open to the public, which is hard because, as you were saying, we're so used to just being so interactive and, being with the client, being able to visit them in their home so that we get a full picture of what it is that they are needing assistance with. So of course we're trying to be respectful of others as well as maintain ourselves as healthy as possible. So everything we do now is by phone. Any of the education and training opportunities that we used to host in the community have all been put on hold for now, just because we're just trying to basically manage and do things by phone at this point.
Yeah. Well, if you offer any workshops or presentations, maybe through Mature Living, we can reach them through our show, through EPCC TV. That would be nice, an additional kind of thing we can do. And so how are you managing, how are caregivers managing these days? I know that you all offer respite time for them, and I just don't know, how is that going?
Well, and we've seen just kind of an increase in the way some of our caregivers are reacting to this. I mean, those of us that have been caregivers know that as it is, as a caregiver, we tend to isolate, perhaps. We tend to kind of start leading a different life because it's not about us anymore. It's about our loved one and the care that we provide them. So it can be difficult. And so along with encouraging a caregiver to take time for themselves, we can pay for and purchase respite care, which is through our contracts with home health providers that we have here in the community. But along with that, it's just been, I guess, we've seen more of the difficulty that caregivers are expressing of their loneliness, how difficult it has been. And again, if we think about as a caregiver, what that's like for us, we've already isolated, right? Our life has taken on a different tone, if you will. And then now with purposeful isolation that they're telling us stay home, don't go out, don't do anything, those opportunities for, say my break was going to church, or say, I would go visit and have lunch with my girlfriends, whatever.
Yes.
Well, now I can't do that. So it's become a little more difficult for caregivers to rest and recharge. So that does cause me some concern for our caregivers, and we want to make sure that they're still okay, that they're managing the stress and anxiety that comes along with being a family caregiver.
And do most of them have technology at home, laptops, so that they can join our online classes? We need to promote the way that we have some wonderful classes that are going to be online starting in September this fall. And one of them is mindfulness and taking care of the mind, body, and spirit. Another one is healing herbs, las hierbitas, el tecito, those kinds of things that interest seniors. Complementary medicine. We have Zumba, by the way, a little bit of movement, exercise, and some other classes that are going to be good for them. So I know that you'll get the word out, so that they can take these free classes.
And that's something that definitely we're encouraging through our community outreach specialist, or Thelma Diaz, who works so well with our caregivers. She's had to learn different ways. A lot of what she's obviously doing has been over the phone. And so I know that she has her weekly conversations with those that she's particularly concerned about, but encouraging them to go online and do things just like that. So I think that's an excellent resource for us that I'll make sure to pass along, so that we can have our caregivers do that. Because I think you're right. Even if it's just an hour away, just a little bit of time for myself, and I'm learning something new, I think that's an excellent way to hopefully recharge a little. But we're encouraging people to, just to make sure that you're still reaching out. Don't, talk to your relatives, visit if you can, at least by phone. Some people that have smartphones can have, FaceTime or do the video chats. And just like we're doing here, we are encouraging them to basically buy into this. Okay, this may be our new normal with technology. And so we've got to embrace this and make it work for us.
One of the wonderful things about El Paso that I have discovered, and I'm sure you've experienced, is the collaboration, the wonderful collaboration amongst agencies, Area Agency on Aging, Adult Protective Service, EPCC, Senior Adult Program. We have, of course, the County Nutrition Program, and so many others. We need to bring in some technology partners. Maybe we can get some tablets or some computers refurbished to these seniors and get them into the homes, and then teach them how to manage, so that they can have a life, even in being in, at home, and help them, to grow. And we're growing, by the way, because we're learning technology as well. And now, talking about the home and the nutrition that seniors need, how do you work with the other partners in this? Home delivered meals, or?
Yes. So part of the funding we receive is to be able to purchase home delivered meals, what we knew as congregate meals, or the meals there at the senior center. Here in El Paso County, there are 20 senior centers, whereas before the pandemic, obviously we were serving those meals. And this is, of course, in partnership with our county nutrition program. It's also a split partnership with the city of El Paso, because as you know, there's 20 senior centers. Some of them are city parks and recreation run facilities. The others are county run facilities. So it's a partnership that definitely works. I'll tell you, in March, when the city shut down and we had to quickly move, it was a challenge. It was a huge challenge, because obviously we did not want to interrupt services. And so I'm so grateful to our partners with the county nutrition program, because they scrambled. They all have a contract with the company that prepares the meals, and they're called Cel Rico. But basically what we did was, in partnership working with the city, the county, all of the participants that used to go to the congregate site now started receiving their meals. They're doing a curbside pickup. So if you attended a congregate meal site, then you would go pick up your meals. They have a distribution day on Tuesdays with the city facilities, on Thursdays with the county. And then all of our home delivered meal recipients, they were already receiving home delivered meals, and so that continued as is. But now with this pandemic, some people just didn't feel safe, and then food did become an issue for them because they didn't want to go out and possibly infect themselves, by going out, just the fear of going into public, going to a grocery store, etc. And so I'm so grateful that our state office waived the rules, and so that allowed us to add persons to our home delivered meals program that would not have normally qualified. And so again, this is done in partnership with our county nutrition program, but our funding is what is paying for those meals. So we have seen a huge increase in the number of people receiving home delivered meals. And so we're grateful that at least at that bare necessity of nutrition, helping an older adult with their food needs, we have seen, like I said, an increase in that. So that's definitely one aspect that we've seen an increase. And then I'm also grateful, additional funding that came to the Area Agency on Aging, we were able to expand, again, thinking about nutrition needs, to a partnership with the El Pasoans Fighting Hunger Food Bank.
Wonderful.
And so very, very much needed. I had never thought of it in this way, but some of our participants who get their noontime meal, what about breakfast and dinner? I never thought of that.
Yes.
And so with this new partnership with the El Pasoans Fighting Hunger, eligible older adults receive a food box, a weekly delivery of a food box. And so the food is delivered to them. And so not only are their noontime needs met for meal purposes, but then breakfast, dinner, and weekend meals are also being supplemented with this food box. So it's a great partnership. I think it's a wonderful use of the additional funding that we received through the CARES Act and the Families First Act that our federal partners, of course, helped us access and we received as an area agency on aging. So we're really trying to make good use of that additional funding to help support the basic needs with food.
And these food boxes, I've seen some of them, and they've told me some of them are full of vegetables and fruits, and then other boxes have eggs and bacon, and so it's a variety of what they're getting. So hopefully that our seniors are not deteriorating because of lack of nutrition because of food. Right. Very, very important. So you continue to receive calls and do assessments. And tell us about how someone can call and how your services and how your staff does the assessments.
Yes, I mean, if anyone, it can be yourself, it can be, some of our professionals, hospital social workers, home health social workers, even neighbors, someone that has a concern that I may need a little bit more support. Of course, everyone is welcome to call. And again, if we don't have that resource available and can't assist you, we're going to try to connect you to the person or the organization that can. So yes, we would encourage people to please call us. As we said, staff are still here in the office. We're trying our very best to connect with people over the phone. And so the number to the agency is 533-0998. And that's being answered Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30. And then on Fridays, we're here from 8 to 12. But we're here to support, and even if it is just to talk or to try to figure out what's going on with your situation, we're going to try our very, very best to make sure that we help you, especially during this time when we're all just trying to figure stuff out.
Yes. And can they also reach you, or do you have a website or email, a generic email where people can reach you that way?
We have a website. That's our parent organization is the Rio Grande Council of Governments. Okay. So we're a department under the Rio Grande Council of Governments. And so we do have our website. That's www.riocog.org. And there is a comment section where if someone had a question that they could type that in. And of course, anything that is regarding aging or older adults, that would come to me. And so then I would field that out to make sure that it gets to the proper person so that we can follow up and make sure we ask the right questions and get someone the answers they need.
And our area agency on aging, you cover a large area. What is your area that you cover, so that if somebody's watching and they have relatives or friends in another part of the counties of Texas, tell me which ones you cover.
We cover a 6-county region. And so we are housed here. Our main office is here in El Paso County. And then we cover a 6-county region all the way out to Brewster County, which is where Alpine is. So Hudspeth County, Culberson County, Jeff Davis, Presidio, and Brewster are the counties that we serve. We have a satellite office in Marfa, Texas, and so we have a staff person there. But basically, we're in charge of or responsible for this 6-county region to support the older adults that live within our service region.
Well, whatever we can do to help, you be sure and call Mature Living. You call the Community College Senior Adult Program. We'll answer the phones. We're also trying to reach out and make sure that we promote all of the services that are available for our seniors in this community and all the areas that you reach. I know that out in the rural areas, they really need help as well in as far as isolation, you can imagine. Thank you so much for being with us. Again, I've memorized your number for years, by the way, 5330998. I'll never forget that number. It's almost like saying the Our Father because you help our seniors.
We try our best, Mary. Yes.
Thank your staff and everybody that's affiliated, all the ombudsmen. I know they're also working. Thank them for all the things that they do for our seniors. And don't forget us if you want to announce anything new or things that you want the community to know. Thank you, Ivette. Appreciate your time. And I guess we can go back to work now. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to continue our show, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Well, thank you for staying with us, of course. This is Mature Living, and we have another very special guest that are providing many, many services to this community. Rosalba Hernadez, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you being online here virtually. We're all working from home, from offices, very rarely from offices, because in our instance, in our situation, the college is closed. So we're not in the studio, but definitely we are wanting to reach our seniors out in the community. And Rosalba, tell me your title, and of course you are part of the county nutrition program, and definitely how we're working so differently these days, and making changes in the process by which we serve our community. Thank you for being with us, and go ahead.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, I am the program manager for the senior nutrition program with the County of El Paso, here serving our community. Not just as one, but as a team of 10 that have been serving this community with much grace and much pride to make sure our seniors receive their meals.
And, you know, it's been so different. We're almost like all learning a new job, learning to do our job differently. And everybody has just, since about mid-March, we've all just jumped in and really trying to keep in step, not letting any seniors fall through the cracks. And how are you managing? I know that one of your big programs is home delivered meals. And how are you doing this, delivering your services?
You know, Mary, the how we do it is still a great question to ask ourselves each and every day, because it is a task that not only us, the 10-member crew at the senior nutrition program, but also our meal provider vendor. How do we manage to make all the meals, pack all the meals, and ensure that every one of our seniors who is at home waiting anxiously for their meal, how do they get it? Well, you know how it comes through is that we work as a team. Since March to date, there's been changes that happen from one day to the next. We cannot prepare as best possible for tomorrow because tomorrow something can happen. So what we do is we stay united, we stay in communication, and we keep our seniors informed of what's happening. You know, we don't see them often, but we drop a call. We call them, how are you doing? What's happening? We know if they've been around someone who's had the virus or have they been ill. So a lot of socialization contacts that do happen with our home delivered seniors who do receive their meals. And, you know, our home delivered program has grown so much, Mary, since March to date.
By the thousands, I would imagine, by the thousands, because you can imagine everybody that was going to the congregate meals at the centers are now having to stay home for their own safety. And that's the thing to do, It's okay. So by the thousands, how many do you deliver a week or a day? I can
You know
imagine.
what, with our I can tell you in number of people, in March pre-COVID, home delivered had about 1,200 individuals receiving 5 weekly meals every week. Today we have almost 2,000 home delivered. That doesn't include our congregate. 2,000 home delivered individuals. So multiply that by 5 each one to get those meals every week. With only 20 drivers that have different routes all over the city, because we travel from the west side as far as Canutillo, all the way to the east side, far east, Montana Vista, Fabe, San Elizario. So all across town, we are delivering these meals to. Our program has grown substantially, and it's really in our home delivered. You're absolutely right. It's our congregate seniors who possibly were afraid of coming out for all the right reasons, didn't want to be exposed to the virus by coming out of their homes. So we've transitioned them. Thankfully, our funder, AAA, the Area Agency on Aging, received funding. They have made this possible for a number of seniors who were not able to continue going for their meals at the centers. And thanks to them, we've been able to make this happen.
Oh, those are those important partnerships and collaborations that need to happen in order so that our elderly will not suffer being hungry. And I can imagine the management of it, what you're doing in managing all of these drivers and routes and so that everybody gets at least one meal, right?
Yes,
a day.
a meal per day.
A meal a day. And it's so good. It's so good to hear. Now, the centers, they're not open. Are you doing anything for the people that used to go to the centers? And I'm talking about like 20 centers, city and county. And tell me how you're doing that.
Yes, Mary. Of course, when COVID happened, it happened from one day to the next. Our other partner who is instrumental in this whole process is City of El Paso. As you mentioned, they have city centers, senior nutrition centers that we were informed from one day to the next. March 13th, it was a Friday, I remember it, and they told us effective Monday, all senior centers closed. So how do we manage that? We immediately get a hold of all of our seniors that normally get a meal at the center, and we tell them, you are not going to go to the center, you're not allowed. But from one day to the next, Mary, it was just something we had to put in place, and we decided a drive-through. So at every center, once a week, on Tuesdays is when it happens for the city centers, all our registered participants that normally would go to the center and eat a meal, they go and pick up their bundle of 5 meals for the entire week.
Wow,
they pick up a bundle of meals.
That is amazing. And we're talking about hundreds of seniors that would go to the centers.
Yes. So and many of our seniors miss going to the centers. It's been almost 5 months that they have not gone to the center. El Paso Community College is also a provider of many services at these centers, and they miss their classes.
I know
they miss their line dance.
Yes, they do. A part of it is socialization, and that is to prevent isolation, depression. You're familiar with what can happen to a senior that is become isolated and has no one to talk to, has no friends, to connect with. Even a hug, it means a touch. It means a lot, and we're missing all that right now. But you're trying to keep them happy with their meals, at least. I'm so happy the county is working hard, and you're smart enough to figure it out. How can we get these 5 meals to them so that they can have them at home? And of course, your partners, your staff, that curbside idea is fantastic. Any other services that we haven't mentioned that you all are involved with?
You know what, Mary, I do want to mention there's one more partner that we have that also has been very instrumental in making this happen, and that's the El Pasoans Fighting Hunger Food Pantry. We all understand that our seniors, through our center programming and our home delivered, it is only one meal they're receiving per day. So what happens to breakfast and dinner? And so what we've partnered with our local food pantry, they've been amazing. They've provided some supplemental boxes of groceries. Of course, it is a lot of groceries for some of our seniors, but we've seen the need. We contact them and we ask them to deliver a box of groceries to seniors who are calling us and saying, I need a little bit more. And they do. We sign them up, we connect them to them, and they get a weekly grocery box from them if they are in need of more groceries. So it's been a great collaboration of many partners, Mary, you included, this show included, because through this show, we can tell our seniors, be patient with us. You know, I know this has become long and outstanding for us, but we all are anxious to get back to the centers. We all are anxious to get back to just a little bit of normality, but soon we'll be there. And I know this show will help us spread that message to our seniors, Mary, because we're just protecting all of our seniors from being exposed to this virus out in the community. So please bear with us. But as soon as we can, we'll be all together and back to being that happy big group that we are.
And sometimes we just don't have the patience. We want to get back to normal, but we really do need to be patient. You're absolutely right. One of the things that we had to go through as well, and it took us a little time, is this fall we're going to have online classes. We have about 10 classes that we're starting out online, and we want you to help us to promote these online classes. They're free. Any of your staff members, relatives, your clients, of course, your clients are absolutely 55 years or older, and they can register online. They might need technology, so this is a time when family members, grandkids can teach grandma and grandpa how to use that laptop or how to use their phone even, you know, so that they can connect with our online classes. They're anxious to see our instructors. We have great classes that we're going to be sending you our mini schedule so that you can tell your staff that when they call, hey, listen, why don't you register for an online class? I know they miss the line dancing but we're going to have a Zumba class. And eventually we're going to grow. We're going to grow these online services and classes that we're trying to promote.
I think it's a great thing for them to have. So you can count on my help in promoting them.
With a little patience and with a lot of good intention, we'll get the program back up. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Rosalba.
Bye.